I just saw this while I was quickly browsing Reddit and eating a bagel. Norway passes law requiring influencers to label retouched photos on social media. This maybe sounds like it's not directly related to, like, matters of political intrigue, but I actually think this is super based. Like, really, really based. It plays a lot into what I say about, like, incels and loneliness. What does this mean? Okay, so, like, people are really lonely and miserable because of social media. There are lots of things about social media that are great. Making friends, finding people who have shared interests, getting educated on certain topics. There's really cool stuff out there. But especially when it comes to how people represent their appearances and their social lives, some stuff is really destructive. Like, let me tell you this, okay? You know how we all have that Facebook friend, or, well, I don't use Facebook, but, you know, we all have that friend on social media whose life looks perfect, you know? Like, you look at their social media and the tweets or the posts they make and the images they post and everything, and it's like, oh my God, they're having so much fun. They go on vacations all the time. They don't struggle with money issues. They're so, like, comfortable. Everything is going so great for them. No human is ever as happy as those types of profiles might suggest. We all cultivate a very particular image on social media, and we leave a lot of other stuff out. And that can leave a lot of other people feeling like they're being left out, because if all you're doing is comparing yourselves to people who very specifically cultivate the types of stuff they show, you might get the impression that your life is, like, abnormally bad. In reality, we're all struggling. And it goes the same way with physical appearances, okay? Humans can look all sorts of different ways, you know? A lot of cool stuff. But one of the big issues that I found is that people's understanding of how human beings actually look is starting to degrade. Like, there have actually been studies on this. It's getting harder and harder for people to recognize, like, realistic, ranges of human appearances because of stuff like TikTok and Snapchat filters. So this law would essentially mean that if you ever post a digitally retouched image, it has to be, there's like a marking for such, like something that labels it. Because, like, it probably makes a lot of people feel really sad, right? So I'm a guy, so I guess this probably doesn't affect me maybe as much, because, you know, girls are held to a higher expectation of self-monitoring and appearance. But, like, if you're a girl, especially, like, a young, impressionable girl, and, like, you're browsing social media, and everyone on social media looks, like, stupid hot, and you look like a normal human being, it might kind of make you feel like shit. But their images are retouched. When you look in the mirror, that image isn't retouched. So how does that work? And it's not just a girl thing. I'm not saying this is a feminine problem. I imagine it's experienced more often by women, but this insecurity thing affects everyone. I just can't imagine growing up in an era like this, you know? By the time self-digital editing became commonplace, I was already basically an adult. If I was, like, 12 years old and all my friends had, like, Snapchat and Instagram, and I was friends with all of them, and everything I saw there was, like, you know what they do, where they'll take, like, 50 pictures, select the best one, do the face editing on that one, and then post that. It's highly unrepresentative of how humans actually work. That, like, that's just not what we look like. But yeah, so I imagine just being exposed to that non-stop. Yeah, magazines and television have been doing this for a long time, but it's way worse with selfies, dude. When I look at, like, an actress on TV, I know she's wearing makeup. When I look at a cover photo on a magazine, like, I know there's been digital manipulation done there. Selfies, though? Like, done in an instant. Just done everywhere with all your friends who you know? Yeah. Really weird stuff. Some cameras actually have automatic retouching, which can't be turned off. That's insane if that's true. That is insane. Oh, thank you, Perky Peer. TikTok auto-edits people's selfies. Yeah, we really do need to stop doing that, okay? I'm really sorry, but, like, people need to get used to how people actually look. You can't run away from the structure of your face, okay? And I think it indicates quite a bit of insecurity to constantly retouch your own photos. If it does it automatically, I mean, And I get doing it, like, for fun, and I know it's nice to see a really nice picture of yourself, but we know this is contributing to a bad culture, right? Didn't ContraPoints do a whole video on this? The beauty video? Remember? Where Contra talked about how she would Facetune her, like, pics all the time. It was making her miserable to constantly obsess over the ways in which she could edit her appearance. Yeah. What do we want to add, like, automatic face tuning to our mirrors? And to, like, augmented reality goggles? I mean, I don't know. It's just, yeah. This doesn't seem good. Also, how your face looks in a picture is wholly dependent on the lens. Please show stream. This fucked me up. Ooh, I think I've seen this. Yeah. Yeah, the focal lens, because eyeballs have 2 focal points, but cameras have 1, can massively change. See? Having a more close-up, like 20mm focal lens exaggerates your nose and makes your head look more narrow. But then at 200mm, it's way more... It looks kind of like Hassan here. Honest to God, if you want to look super pretty for social media, here's a suggestion that I have. Get good at taking selfies. Not with Facetune. I mean, just get good at it. With a little bit of an understanding of proper lighting, learning how to smile, like getting comfortable smiling, and just, like, understanding, like, the appropriate focal length for a selfie. No. Guys, this is literally, like, 20 minutes of self-education that will last your entire life, okay? This has nothing to do with your appearance. This is just a very, very basic skill that a lot of people don't learn. Have you guys ever wondered why guys send shit selfies and girls send good ones? It's not because girls are prettier, okay? Fuck girls, all right? It's because they actually take the time to learn how to fucking take pictures. When guys send dick pics, they're like, you know? But girls, like, they'll be like, okay, like, let me get the color blocking here. Let me, like, lie in the bed and then get the light from the windows. And, like, it takes like 5 minutes, but there's obviously a difference in the end product. I'm just saying, if you want to feel better about the selfies that you post, because I see you people, yeah, I sent you my dick pic, please respond angle. I see you guys on, like, on Twitter or whatever. I'm browsing my feed, people, like, that I'm mutuals with post selfies. If you ever want to feel better about them, just learn a little bit about the basic elements of photography that can improve the quality of your photo. Just a little bit of knowledge, not like a super quality camera or anything like that, but how is that any different from TouchUp, lol? Wait, seriously? TouchUp literally edits the photo. What I'm just talking about learning to take, like, a good picture with good lighting. Anyone could do that. That's not TouchUp. That's just the basic. Keep in mind, people are always going to look, I think, a little bit weirder in a photo than they do in the mirror because you're using, again, a single focal point rather than 2. So you have to compensate for the inherent weirdness of the way cameras work by being a little bit better at, taking presentable selfies. I get your argument about touched up photos. I just don't see anything wrong with people that are just really attractive showing off what they got. I don't have anything against hot people posting pictures. I'm actually in favor of hot people posting pictures. I think that makes the world better, generally speaking. I think that's good. I'm just saying that we should promote a realistic understanding of how people actually look, because people are forgetting, And who actually knows who's hot, It's virtually impossible to tell with the extent to which Facetune can edit people, Like, lighting this, lighting that, bad photos of one person, good photos of the other person. Like, have you ever seen those pictures of models where they're standing up and they look, like, super trim, but then they, like, hunched over and their belly rolls, like, flab up? That happens to, like, everyone, That happens to, like, everyone, like, even skinny people, like, like, a little bit. What we consider attractive is framed through a ton of presentational elements that we need to be aware of. Otherwise, we get really unrealistic understandings of what's going on around us, Does that make sense? Does everyone get what, like, you get where I'm coming from, right? We need to have realistic expectations of this sort of stuff because, hey, social media is great, but we meet people IRL. That's where it really makes, like, a difference, for the most part. And I just feel like in a couple of years it's going to be a well-regarded and well-acknowledged problem that people aren't like dating or like seeing other people because everyone's expectations for how their partner should look are higher than is reasonable. Like, I don't want to prove the incels right on this one, but it might end up going both ways, you know? Um, it just, yeah, it just kind of suck if that's the direction. If I can't date Hassan, I can't date anyone. True. This is a normie thing. Queers and alt folks are super chill about appearances. Yes, in my experience, for the most part, these problems seem to be more of a normie thing than a queer community thing, but that could be bias on my part because I'm in the queer communities, so I see everything there, but I see more negative stuff selected from the normie stuff. I will say this much though. The people who I've seen who have been the most aggressive advocates for body positivity are obviously like queer and left-leaning people. You know? So in that respect, at the very least, the most active advocates for what I'm saying right now are probably going to be left-leaning. How do you feel about height in society? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. If the only real issue with height is that like short guys get treated like shit, which does suck. And the reason why short guys get treated like shit is half because it's like people will dump on them for not being masculine, and half because a lot of girls want to look up at their boyfriends because they want to be like daddy domed or whatever. I don't know. If we normed out some of the gender imbalances here, then yeah, wouldn't be as much of an issue. I think there are people who benefit from their looks in ways others don't. I don't think it's confidence alone. There does appear to be some bias towards people of a certain level of attraction. Wait, I'm not saying that people aren't biased in favor of hot people. They totally are. Just, look, I'll put it this way. And by the way, Hyena has a good point here. Have you ever watched reality TV like The Bachelor? You ever wonder how all of these rich, insanely hot young 20-somethings can't seem to nail down a relationship? There are elements beyond appearance that matter here, okay? There are a lot of other things to take because it's a show. A lot of it is scripting. No. While it's true that it is a show and there's scripting, also keep this in mind: hot people are fucking crazy. Okay, hot people are psychotic. All right, this is a fact. A lot of it is just because a lot of them didn't have to develop a personality because they were hot. I actually think being an awkward, ugly, like, adolescent is super good for your development, okay? All of the comedy shit that I developed was because I was super awkward in high school. I had to work, all right? But if you're super hot and people pay attention to you just because of how you look, like, I don't know, it feels like you might get really, really reliant on that. You know what I mean? You were hot in college, though? Well, I mean, I'm talking like freshman in high school. Like, I made a lot of jokes, you know? Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about high school. Look, I'm just saying, you were hot. Do you want pictures of me from back then? Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, man. Wow, that's hard to look at. All right. Okay. We're going into deepest lore now, okay? This is what I'm referring to, okay? I must have been somewhere between 12 and 14 at the time. There we go. Ah, it's blinding. Young Voosh. That's not even that bad. Look, I was greasy, okay? Look, just... That doesn't look like you. I have a beard now, you know. I had pretty wide shoulders for like a 12-year-old. Alright, look. I'm not detailing all of the high school adventures with you people, okay? I was awkward. It's good to develop a personality besides being hot, okay?